Is there a better feeling in this world than when you finish like a project where you got all the material, your hands went into it, you made it, it's complete, everything went the way it was supposed to, you have it. So this weekend, I got a new couch from Wayfair. Ooh. And nice. It came in 3 gigantic boxes because it's a sectional, but and because,
you had to get it up to 2nd story?
Yeah, because of where we live, it's a lot harder to. So if I tried to go to like Ashley Furniture or something like that, trying to get that stuff up through 90 degrees to some stairs, then 90 degrees again. Like, no, you got to go the Ikea route or the Wayfair or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So that got me thinking for this episode, you know what I mean? Projects, dad projects, right?
Love it.
You got the tool, get the tool bag out, you lay it all out, and you play it all out. And you get your kids involved too, because you got to pass down your knowledge to them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the best knowledge, even if you're not even, you don't even have to be good at it, but you should do it with them, because then they're learning something that they can actually use in their lives, other than watching you like curse in traffic or something. You know what I mean?
Just I mean, they watch you curse. They're going to see that, no matter what. So,
and I like to do so. I like to say, so I'm not, you know, I don't belong on like the Better Home and Gardens channel or whatever, or like the guys that do This Old House where they just do everything perfect and whatnot, you know. But I like to think I'm a little more handy than the average person. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I get the stuff, it says, oh, this will take 90 minutes with 2 people. So I take that as a challenge. Like, okay, 90 minutes with 2 people. Well, I got 1.5 people, me and the kid. All right. So, and we're going to beat that time starting now. And then we go. And we took all the stuff apart outside, because since it's in all them big boxes, comes with all that shipping crap and everything. You don't want to lug all that upstairs and then have to lug it all back down. So we kind of took it apart, carried it up piece by piece. We got it, dude. She helped me. My daughter, like it was great. We had a good time, you know. And we didn't even. The best part is there was no like fussing or nothing went wrong. We didn't put it together wrong halfway in between or something and realize you did it backwards. Like we breezed right through it. We finished it in like probably like, you know, little under an hour, 45 minutes. We killed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cut it in half.
Wow. Cut it in half. Yeah. That's incredible. Liam,
we probably cut somewhere in between 45 and an hour, because and we did kind of like mess around and stop for a minute, maybe change the music. Yeah.
But you're still stomping. Yeah, someone you stopped to get a drink at one point, your daughter wanted a drink. But you still stomped the time. You still stomped it out.
Yeah, take your 90 minutes and cram it up your cram hole.
Cram it good. Liam, were you able to be like, hey, tell your daughter, like, hey, grab me this, grab me that, do this, put this. Like,
and then explain.
She was a total helper.
Yeah, explain what that tool is, and then explain to her, you know, so you take the bolt, and then the lock washer goes on first, and then you put the regular washer on second, and you have to do that because the lock washer has to cinch down. Well, yeah, we used like Allen keys and stuff. Yeah, we did it all. She helped me do the air conditioners today. You know, hang it in, give her the drill, and I'm like, all right, send that screw. You know, like the bit is jumping out of the screw. You got to give it a little more oomph behind it, and then it'll stay on the screw. You know, like these are good life lessons, dude.
Totally, especially for a girl. Absolutely. Yeah. You don't want to have to rely on some fucking J-hole to come do stuff for her.
Anytime we have car stuff, anytime. She's not crazy about doing the car stuff. Like she was a lot more receptive to the furniture because the prize at the end is a cool, nice new couch.
Right.
oh, we're gonna do this, and then I have the same car that I ride in. Like nothing cool happens when we change the tire or do the oil, or you know what I mean.
Well,
put belt conditioner on the belts or something like that. You know what I mean? But put windshield wiper fluid in, check the oil, like stuff like that.
That's because she's always been in a car, right? You've always had to drive her. For her right now, a car is just the way she gets places. I'll never forget. I made a deal with my old man. I was like, I'm going to work all summer. I'm going to take all the money I make. And he was like, whatever you make, I'll match you for a car. Nice. Right.
Okay.
So I ended up buying this like 1993 4-door maroon Pontiac Grand Am for like $2,900 from like a gas station down the street.
That's an HJ machine.
You know what I mean?
That's an HJ magnet.
So I finished my work for the summer, but I don't turn 16 until March. So my dad's like, all right, listen, so we got this, like, we're going to wait. Like, we're going to look around. We're going to find a good deal. We're going to find a good car. My dad loved like shopping for stuff. My dad loved like, my dad would go to
dealer.
My dad would look at 15 cars before, and he knew what we had $2,800, and he was like, no, we're going to find the best. Now it was also 1998. So he was like, we're going to find the best $2,800 car in the world. And I remember we bought
$2,898. You're getting a good wheel. You're going to get a good set of wheels.
Yeah. It looked nice. It had 4 doors. I got 5 or 6 years out of it. The HJs were, they happen. And but I remember getting that car, and it was still like a month before I got my driver's license. And I used to go out every day. I would sit in it. I made sure every radio station was correctly programmed. My mirrors were perfect. I made sure my seat was right. I made sure the passenger seat was right. The point is, Liam, once she starts driving, there's a whole different kind of ownership that it's involved. And if there's one thing I wish I knew more about as an adult, and I don't know a lot about a lot, but if there's one thing I wish I could do, it would be the most basic maintenance on my car where, hey, we need a belt. I'm going to go out and spend $16 on the belt and take 20 minutes and fix it instead of taking my car in before work, dropping it off, $85 later.
I'm telling you, there's stuff on your cars that you can do. I'm telling you,
I've
can
changed
do
oils
it.
and stuff.
It seems daunting at first, but I've changed like a fuel filter. I've done my fuel pump, depending on the car. Now, there's some cars where fuel pump's harder to get to. You got to drop all this stuff, but you really got to find out like what stuff, and you got to know your limits. I'll tell you what, I did an alternator I had an Avalon at the time, and I was like cussing the heavens, dude. I should have taken it to Steve. It was such a mistake. Because of the placement of the bolts and everything. I had to take the wheel well off and everything to get to it and I had to pull the belt and everything. Like normally you have access to the alternator, but in that car, dude, I couldn't even fit my hand between the alternator and, the rest of the stuff. And you had to loosen the radiator and stuff just to get it to pass out. That is the kind of stuff from that day forward. I was like, dude, know your limits. Like when next time you have something like this and it's more than a couple bolts and it's plug and play, call your boy. You know what I mean?
You know what I want to say though, Liam? The point is your daughter isn't as excited about the car stuff, but the fact that she's watched you do it, there is a level of confidence.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't even realize yet when she'll be like, hey, Dad, can we do this? And you'll be like, hell yeah, we can do this. Let's go do it. And like,
I can't wait.
Man, I wish I had that knowledge.
Because then I think at that point, then she probably will be more receptive to doing the car stuff. It's like, hey, let's do this so you know how to do it.
Once she has one, I couldn't believe I had a car that I was allowed to drive around. I can't believe the state of Pennsylvania let me drive around in a car, and I had a car. Like it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me as a 16-year-old.
Want to hear the crazy thing?
For Maddie as a 31-year-old.
I'm already more than halfway there. My child is already more than halfway there to 5 years isn't that long. Actually, it's less than 5 years. I'm 4 years and change away from having to let her operate a vehicle. which is
Oh my gosh.
terrifying.
Insane.
The thought of
Do you
that
think
is
episode
terrifying.
900 is going to be Liam's daughter gets her license?
Oh my
Is that
gosh.
could you
Then
imagine?
It's gonna be Liam's daughter doing donuts and like changing her own tires. It's gonna
and
be
it'll be
insane.
me
Yeah.
having a nervous breakdown because the thought of
Yeah.
her like paying attention the entire time to like,
Oh,
oh man, I love her to death
brutal.
and she's good at so many things, but the thought of her driving
Oh.
is terrifying.
Well, I mean, at that point, Liam, the cars
But
might
yeah, a
even be
lot more.
flying. So,
And honestly, that like a lot of maturity happens between now and then too.
Yeah,
So
there's
you know
huge,
what I mean?
huge
God,
jumps are coming.
God, we
Yeah.
hope so. But, well, speaking of maturity happening, this is another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast presents For Dads by Dads. Today, we are tackling a topic that strikes fear into the hearts of men everywhere, drains our bank accounts, and ruins perfectly good weekends. The home improvement project, Daddy. Now, as three dads, we all have to deal with fixing stuff, building stuff, and breaking stuff we're supposed to be fixing, but we come at it from three totally different worlds. I'm old Uncle Matt Lavelle, and as the married dad, my projects are usually dictated by a honey-do list that mysteriously generates every Sunday morning. Alongside me is Benditi Padalini, Bern Podcasy, also known as the divorce dad, who has to juggle playing contractor on a single income while maximizing his weekend time with his kids. And then we have Liam, the handsome bastard LeSchmigly Reese. He's the single dad, the hero, the last of the Iron Man. He tackles house projects whenever he damn feels like it, with absolutely zero supervision. Today, we're comparing notes on DIY disasters, tool collections, and the reality of dad-driven house projects. So let's get into it, Daddy. All right, so first thing I want to talk about here is the origin of a project, right? So like I said, your boy, old Uncle Matty, I mean, mine, they don't come out of nowhere, and they're never my idea. You know,
Yeah.
it's how like it's like
I
a
bet.
simple comment from my wife about updating the paint turns into a month-long bathroom gut job. And dude, I'm telling you, the Amazon packages that arrive, and I'm like, is it something I have to do? Is it a shelf? Is it a picture frame? Is it a new door? Is it the I don't know what it is, but I mean, Liam, you did bring up something about the feeling of like completing a project.
Yeah.
I had to replace a door in my wife's office. It was like a heavy duty iron door because it was from the garage, and they made a room out of the garage, whatever. And I replaced it with the wooden door with like the glass paneling. You know, it has like five
Little
rows
French
of glass.
door? Little French
Yeah, little
door? It's a
French door,
French
little
door.
French,
Yeah.
little
Daddy.
Frenchy. I replaced it. I had to put in like a hole for the doorknob to match up with the thing and the slide and the things on the end and the whole nine.
Did you do that with the hole saw? You cut a
Oh
hole
yeah,
in the door? Yeah, good,
bought a
man.
hole
Good
saw,
for
the
you.
whole
For you.
thing. I had to make sure the door was the right size. I had to make sure that the hinges were in the right spot. I had to paint the motherfucker. I did it all myself. Every time I look at that door, I think, hey, that's Phil's boy.
That's
You
my
know?
door.
That's my door right there.
That's my wife's
my
office door, but that's my door. Deep
That's
down.
That's old Uncle Matty. Hey, that's a good looking door you got there.
But it
And now
isn't.
she wants the same door into the basement. So, I mean, blessing and the curse. You do a good job, but you get to do it again. So, Benditi Padalini, I'm going to go to you first. Talk about your prioritization. You're doing adult house stuff, but something breaks. It's 100% on you. How do you decide what actually needs fixing versus what you can just live with? Go ahead.
Boys, I am so far out of my element here. I have been a lifelong renter, now into a crashing at my ancestral home, right?
Sure. House Podcasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could get pulled into projects there for sure.
Oh,
Sure.
buddy.
Sure.
And you almost are going to feel obligated to do
that's
so.
the thing. When something
Yeah.
comes up, it's like let's
You're
Yeah.
the
take care
man of the house. Yeah.
Here's the problem. Here's my issue. My old man. was one of the greatest. I mean, an absolute great. One of the best ever lived. We are still finding out. He'll be dead 12 years in May. We are still finding things, critical things, piping, suicides, that things in the garage that he would just fix with an amount of duct tape that would absolutely shatter your mind. Like you probably could have learned how to do this in the amount of time it took you to put this amount of duct tape in. My old man was the duct tape kid. My old man was the let's just figure it out for now.
Yeah.
And we'll get to it later. And then we never got to it later.
No.
In my ancestral home right now, there's a toolbox. It is a Philadelphia Eagles tackle box.
Like a fishing tackle box?
Yeah, like a fishing tackle box that you got from somewhere. There's a hammer. There's a couple wrenches. There's a handful of screwdrivers. There's a shitload of duct tape. But I never learned how to do any of that stuff. I am not a handy guy. And even my ex-wife was like a little bit like I get the drill out, but she was more like, she would do some stuff. She was more a rearranger. So what I've found is my level of projects is closer to like, we're going to make sure that grass looks nice. We're going to make sure, hey, it's time to put the Christmas lights up. That stuff's going. So like, what I do with like my son is like that kind of stuff. But I have not been able really to pass to him any discernible handy skills because I don't really have any. And I mean, other than throwing a bunch of spackle on something, but I mean, we find duct tape under spackle.
You guys can learn together. You guys can learn together. That does not have to be the end for you. Let me tell you a secret that people don't realize. Okay, all these professionals that come to your house and do all this stuff. Yes, they've put time and experience and everything, and that's how they got good at it. But let me tell you something. Most of these people coming to your house were not like, they didn't make the cutoff at NASA and now they're fixing your door or now they're fixing your trunk. Okay? These people
they don't all have PhDs? Are you kidding me, Liam?
These people are likely, barely made it out of high school. Yeah.
Former felons.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely, dude. So just know, like, if people like me who are like barely literate and like not college educated and all that stuff, if someone like me can figure that out, you are capable. You know what I mean? Like your mind and your body are fully capable of doing this stuff.
But Liam, I will say too, I was, I've never owned anything. So I've always been a renter. So it's always that fine line of, it's always that fine line of like, well, if I do this and I fuck it up, then like it's double jeopardy then, because also now it doesn't look good or work, and also I'm gonna end up paying for this on the back end.
Liam, can I ask you this, dude? So speaking of toolkits, right, and I want to get into your thing, Liam, because you're literally doing this like it's your lack of external pressure, right? Like you do projects only on like a need to happen basis or when something falls apart. Like it's nothing sprung on you. Like even Bern's mom could be like, hey, I need your help with this, or you gotta do this. My wife, that literally I think is the only thing she keeps me around for, is to do that stuff and to lift heavy things. But like you, it's like on a need to do basis, and it is only on you. But can I ask, right?
That's not necessarily true, and I'll tell you why. When your friends and family become aware that you can do stuff, that you're handy, the second they realize that you're able to do plumbing, you're able to handle electrical work, that you're able to handle that stuff, the second they know, you are the first number in their contacts that they're gonna call.
You do. That just happened to you. We talked about it 2 weeks ago.
It happened last week. It happens to me all the time, bro.
You spend all day searching for the bad circuit, right?
Yeah. It happens to me all the time.
It's funny. Like, I don't tell people that I box anymore, right? Like I don't tell people that I used to box or that I fought in a cage or anything like that. I never tell people that. When people bring it up, I'll talk about it. But there's been too many times where like I used to bring it up. It was a major part of my identity, and I'll bring
It's
it
a
up,
big part
and
of your
then
life.
and it was, but Johnny fucking tough guy wants to fucking be, be hardo about it.
Come over to the
Right.
backyard and let you
Right,
know what
like
he
wants
knows
to
about.
fucking
Yeah.
and gets fucking mouthy, right? So it's like I don't bring it up and
Oh.
I never bring it up, right?
Uh-huh.
But because it's like there are sometimes people are genuinely interested in whatever, but most of the time it's Johnny fucking Hardo wants to be a fucking douchebag, and then you
Just
need to
sizing
smack
you
some
up.
people, and it
Sizing
gets
you
all
up.
yeah, that's all it is, right?
And
For
and you're and you
you,
and you have to be like, no, I really did this and trained.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be cocky. But like I will end you shortly.
Yeah,
Like,
but there's some people.
I
There's
have
some
technique.
people
I
that
have
are
skills.
gonna.
If you don't have that, you're tough.
There,
Great.
people
So
are.
am I. I
You
know
got
how
to
to fight.
remember though, people are stupid and they're assholes on top of it.
right?
So you got to remember, there's going to be people that even if they know that about him, they're going to be like, "Well,
Right.
he's probably not that good." You know what I mean? I'm probably
Right.
yeah, but like when I see red, dude, you don't even understand.
Yeah.
Also, but
I won every fight I
think
had in
of-
seventh grade. Like, oh, great! I've been
Uh-huh.
training for 20 years. Come
well,
on, man.
think of this though too, right? Say they win. Oh, I beat I beat a boxer. I beat the, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then if
So
but,
lose for you.
if they lose, well, yeah, I lost. He's a fucking used to be pro boxer. Yeah, of course. Like it's a fucking win-win for that guy every time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, but for you, Liam, I'm thinking it's the same thing where you almost don't want to tell people that you do this.
Is the
They're gonna
ironic
ask you to
lesson
do
here?
shit.
Is the
It's
ironic
hard.
lesson here? The better you get at something, the more you should keep your mouth shut about it because people are going to take
Sometimes.
advantage of it. Like,
Buddy.
Sometimes, yeah, because you'll be around families and friends, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, such and such is happening here," or my drain is
Liam,
doing this,
I know-
and I'm like,
I know- I know we're bird walking here. I know we're bird walking.
Yeah.
Liam, has there ever dude, you go to like birthday parties for your daughter's friends, right?
Mhm.
Have you ever been there and like something happens or you tell someone like you're the head mechanic at fucking, a very big pharmaceutical company and they're just
Oh.
like they're
And
like,
they'll-
want to take a look at this garbage disposal for me really quick?
Yeah, can you
Yeah,
take a look
or
at
they'll be
my
like,
plumbing's been
hey.
making this weird noise. Can
My
you
garage
they'll be
door's
like-
not working.
they'll be like, "Hey, I'm working on my basement right now. Can you come look at this real quick? We want to
my
do
God.
this. How hard would it be to do XYZ? How much of a hassle would it be?" And then you go look at it and you're like, "Well, dude, you got a lot of shit in the way there." You know what I mean? Like, and you got they have like wood paneling on the walls and stuff.
yeah.
And you're like, "Yo,
You're
dude,
like, buddy, I just came over for pizza and cake. Like,
Yeah,
what are we
yeah.
doing here? You know?
We're here for 90 minutes.
Yeah, you're like, dude, I'm gonna have to come back for this. Like, this is like actual work, dude. We can't
Yeah,
do this.
buddy.
We can't do this right now."
Oh, dude, that is totally like that sounds like the worst. You're just like, I dropped her off. Here's the gift. I didn't mean to stay, but someone told you that I know how to use my hands. So now it's
I've had
now I
people-
gotta work with over here.
I have people call me and they'll be on FaceTime and they'll ask me about like what they're doing. They'll be like, "There's this many wires up here, and I put this wire." I'll tell you, a past host on here called me before on the FaceTime. He was putting a fan up, but to his credit, he did it. I just gave him a couple
Justin's also
pointers.
retarded.
I gave him a couple pointers and told him what wires went
Shout
where
out
and
to-
everything, and then he did
Yeah.
it. He had his.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you know exactly who it was that called.
Well, shout out to him. He's coming up on 2 years sober, so good for him, man.
Yeah, awesome.
Or
Fuck
2
yeah,
years
dude.
clean, we'll say.
Great for him.
Yeah, so love him. Shout out, love him to death. But okay, so let's keep it moving. Liam, I want to talk about this. So Bern, you briefly touched on it, right? So when I bought my house, right, we had like a nest egg for like, because we knew when we bought it, we were gonna have to paint. We wanted to get like new toilets, like we wanted new flooring, like a bunch of things. And one of the things we set aside for is like we had like a toolkit budget. But for me, like I'm a Harbor Freight guy, I'm old Matty fucking Harbor Freight's over here, right? I love going to Harbor Freight. All my whole tools, if you want to call it a toolkit, I have the most useless toolkit you probably ever seen. But I have a drill that I use all the time. Like I
Who
have,
makes it?
hammer. I have socket wrenches. I have some saw. Like I just have a bunch of basic stuff, all from Harbor Freight or all from like donated by my
Home
father-in-law
Depot
or
or
whatever.
yeah.
Right. Like, but I have all that stuff from Harbor Freight. Liam, if you saw my tools, you'd probably throw up because like the brand is so awful. But
Not
you're a tool guy, right? Like you
Well,
have like, what is
Liam
your
needs
tool
to be
brand? Like I'm
yeah, you
saying, like
should
your tools are like legit like pieces of fucking fine machinery here, right?
equipment.
but if I'm using mine every
Right,
day,
right,
then they really should be like
They
higher
have to
end
right.
be
stuff. But
for
you
sure.
guys are like, Johnny homeowner or whatever. If you're only that stuff is fine. If you're only
Yeah,
using it once or twice a year at the most, then
right.
yeah, you're not gonna beat the crap out of it. I think there's nothing wrong with that as long as that's all you're using it for. Now you're not gonna have like a Bauer like or the Hercules drills that they have at Harbor Freight. If that's your everyday, you would get laughed off the job if you like brought that stuff in.
Really? What?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. So there's
Absolutely.
like a
Just his
hierarchy of like,
durability.
because I
There's
think
no
Bach's a
Absolutely.
durability to it.
Milwaukee guy, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely. Milwaukee's like that's the top, you
I
know.
think I think Bach's a Milwaukee guy.
It's
What
the
are you,
most
Liam?
popular. It's a little more pricey than the other stuff, and rightly so. Milwaukee does make like the best power tools. Their sawzall is awesome. Their drills are awesome. Their impact, their
You
hammer
hearing this,
drill.
Bern?
That
We
stuff
knew
is the
all that,
best.
right? We're tool guy. We know.
But there's other stuff like DeWalt and Makita are like
What
they're
about a nice Ryobi?
they're
What do you think of
passable.
Ryobi? Huh?
Ryobi. You're gonna catch some shit if you come on to with Ryobi. You're definitely gonna hear it if you have
That's
that.
like that's like showing up with the LA Gear pumps instead of the Reebok pumps to the basketball park.
Come
You
on!
know
Don't
what
be
I
Kinda
knocking
mean?
like
Like,
LA
that.
gear. I love LA gear.
yeah, but the pump they put out pumps right around when Reebok put out pumps, and I'm telling
Uh-huh.
you,
Yeah,
as a 10-year-old at the time, not worth the investment.
You don't
I
have to
loved
tell
LA
me
gear.
because I wasn't getting the Reeboks. I was getting the
No, I also
No,
had
buddy,
the
I
LA
was all
Gears. It
about
wasn't a
LA
great
gear,
feeling.
Daddy.
yeah.
LA gear was old Uncle Matty's jam. I remember too. I had a Royce Union bike. Boy, did I catch hell for that one, Daddy. That
Yeah.
was the Seersucker special, the Royce Union. Oof.
Yeah, I
It,
had a oh man, what were they called? Like it's not Huffy, it's the other one that's kind of like
yeah,
like a
yeah.
generic one.
I know exactly.
When everybody else had the Dino or the
BMXs.
Yeah,
Mongoose,
or a
Yeah,
mongoose,
your
or
mongooses,
yeah,
your GTs, your
I
Oh,
dynos,
begged for
a
years.
Haro,
And then when I finally got the Dino,
Redline.
it was like the best day ever.
dude.
Is when you
Well,
finally got the
that's
good
why I
bike.
kind of spoil myself on bike stuff now, is because all I ever wanted as a kid was a bike, and my bike was such a hunk of dog shit.
Yeah,
And
Ugh.
you also had to peg one of your brothers on it on the way to school every day.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so you were also it was also getting the shit beat out of it, but then also everyone saw it as you were pulling into school
mhm,
with Tommy riding
yeah,
and you on the pegs, or you riding
yeah,
with Alex on the pegs.
but
Like
that's why I
you
yeah,
couldn't
get my
hide it.
daughter the better stuff is because
same.
one is because I only have one. I only have
Hmm.
one to worry about. So I can get it, then I don't have to buy a second one. Or when I get her like shoes, like I just got her these cool dude, kids' shoes are getting out of control too.
Insane.
Oh,
Yeah,
buddy,
but I don't
don't
want to get
even.
off topic, but I just try to get the better stuff because I didn't really have
Same,
it. Yeah.
same. All
Yeah.
Well,
right, so
there
let's
are.
keep it moving.
I
Hold
was gonna
on.
say
What's?
there are
Go ahead,
certain
Bern.
things that you talk about, like with the tools. Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
if you're going to be beating the brakes off of it and using it every
Yeah.
day, it does
It's
make
worth
sense to get the better thing
Yeah.
that's gonna last. Or instead of get
Yeah.
like that shitty.
Yeah, you're
Huffy
gonna buy
12
three of
speed
the
that
other
can't
ones anyway, you know?
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
instead of buying three of
Yeah.
them, just buy one good one.
So, all right, let's keep it moving then. I want to talk about this. So, there's a difference between the hardware store run, the Home Depot drop, the Lowe's, lollygag, buy
Uh-huh.
yourself, or with like, sometimes I'll go with my neighbor, but he's he's like a pro. Like he used to be a handyman. He was in the Navy. He was like a mechanic in the Navy. Like he knows his shit. Like he helped me build my deck. Like he knows his stuff. So like when me and him go to Home Depot, he's like he knows everything. But like, or if I go by myself, I'm like looking at tools and like I know what stuff I need to buy and whatever. But when I go with my wife, dude,
Oh,
my God,
I
the
imagine.
it is, buddy. I almost wish I was single. Like it is awful. Liam, you know what? You talked about like the experience of putting the couch together with your daughter and how it was like a bonding experience and you guys had a great time and you crushed it. You want to know
You have
why?
music on. You guys listen to
Music. You're
tunes
having
and
fun and
totally.
everything. You want to know why? It's because she listens and she follows
it was so much-
directions and she's probably not a little shit and she's just like there to be with her dad, right? Where if you had a wife, you'd have to spend 20 minutes explaining everything you're about to do, and then you're doing stuff, and then they're just telling you, like, oh, why don't you do that thing you're already doing? Because they want to think like they thought of the thing that you're already doing when they didn't think of shit. They're just standing there trying to point shit out that you're already doing, or trying to think of mistakes, or just have dumb questions, and they're just getting in the way. Because that's what wives do.
Project
It's
managers,
awful.
Maddie. Project managers.
They're not. They're the worst. But either way, a trip to Home Depot with your wife, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. It's fucking awful. But I want to talk to Liam. What is the bachelor budget like when you're going to Home Depot? Is this like a little treat yourself time at the Home Depot? Talk to me.
Yes, absolutely. Like because you go in and then there's new stuff like, oh, Klein made a new, impact rated 11 and 1 or something. You're
I
like,
was waiting for that
is
impact
sweet.
rated 11
I
and 1.
want that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
baby.
the flashlight that has the laser pointer on it too.
Oh, come
my
on.
gosh. For when I'm walking down jobs and stuff and then I can like point to it. Well, that thing is awesome. But
man,
it's more like, it's one of those things where, and I think most people will agree, like the people that are like in similar fields. I mean, like when you go to Lowe's or Home Depot,
and
Hose and Lowe's.
Hose and Lowe's.
When you go to Hose and Lowe's, baby,
when you go there, it's almost like you have to tell yourself, like, okay, I'm in here for just this. I'm not spending extra. It's like when it's like
going to the grocery store hungry.
Yeah, yes, it is like that. So you have to tell yourself, like, yo, chill out. Nothing extra, nothing. But I'll tell you, I don't have a wife, but as much as we had a great time doing that, my kid does not like doing that trip with me because it becomes like a boring.
Oh,
it
you're
becomes
looking
like a boring run for it.
Yeah. My God. Oh, look at the edges on this trimmer right here. Huh? You seeing this?
Because you can't match the energy. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like if you and your
you're in a toy store.
Toys R Us isn't around anymore, right? But if you and your kid went to Toys R Us, you could match the energy because you remember what it was like being a kid, being in Toys R Us. And so you're like, no, I get it. She's never been a 40-year-old adult buying a power saw. You know what I mean? So she's just like, I don't. Okay, Dad's excited. This is cool for me for 15 minutes. And now it's like, can I get a Gatorade? Can I get some candy at the end of the aisle? Like,
Liam, you walk into Home Depot, it hits you with that fresh wood warehouse smell, right? Like that's got it ignites something in you. Liam, as a guy that uses tools for a living, is there something you got your eye on at Home Depot?
I do want to get, the last time I was there, I was eyeing up, like the water coolers for in your
house
kitchen and stuff. Yeah. I want to get one of those refrigerated coolers that you can put, you can put the 5-gallon jugs on it and stuff. And you can get those filled. I want one of
Bern's
those.
Brother has one.
Yeah, really?
Bern's brother Mike, they had them at Costco. And they were like not crazy expensive.
Yeah, I gotta
pull the trigger.
Loves it.
Dude, if I didn't live in a high-income area and had a refrigerator that had a filtered water on it already, yeah, I'd buy
Fucking
one.
guy.
You know,
Yeah.
but I'm in a high-income area, so those kind of refrigerators are standard for this area. I don't know, you know.
I mean, I want that, but the thing that always catches me and probably catches most guys is I always like going to see like what new power tools are out. You know, like the
Yeah.
smaller portable
yeah.
bandsaw. Like I would love to have one of those. I would love to
yeah.
have. I mean, I have
I'd love to know what
most of
any
the
of
other
that
stuff,
shit is.
but I
yeah.
even like looking at the newer stuff of stuff I already have that I can't even justify getting. I'm like, oh, this impact would be awesome, and you're like, no, you already have like
Yeah.
two
There's-
impacts.
There's one or two new features on it, and you think of one specific scenario. You're like, oh, that would be perfect for this one thing I had to do one time.
Yeah.
It would have made that easy.
Liam, do you have to bring your tools to work?
No, I have a set
Oh,
there,
okay.
and then I have my stuff. Yeah,
But the tools at work, are they like work tools? Like you couldn't take them home? Like if you left the job, those tools stay at work, right?
for the most part. But if I'm doing something and I'm in dire need, there is kind of a unwritten, you know what I mean? Like, don't be an asshole about it.
Right.
You know,
like you can take some tools home and use them if you need to.
Yeah,
right.
If I
I
needed
understand
it,
that.
or I'm in a pinch and I need to do it like when I was helping my aunt and everything, I needed a certain like an amp probe meter, you know, I was like, okay.
Right.
I wanted a better like fluke meter than because I have like a Klein meter with my stuff.
Come on, who likes a bad fluke meter? Come on, what are we doing? No one wants a shitty fluke
no
meter.
fluke meters are bad. They're like the best meters.
Yeah,
but
also,
I knew that.
Also, you know, when you're walking out of the job, you're like, well, I can't break it or lose it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's like you have to take
it's almost
the responsibility of rolling the dice there. Like, all right, I need this, but like,
you're not wrong if you do. Like that is, like I said, it is unwritten rule. Like if you're doing this, you're kind of doing it. Like
I tell you,
don't break it or lose it, because
that is
on you if you do.
That's my number one rule with everything, like in my house almost. And I remember it was my dad's rule where it's like, look, you can use, especially with tools. He's like, you can use it, but if you break it or you don't put it back where you got it, then you're fucking dead. So it's almost like the same thing, Liam. Like, look, if I don't know you used it, I don't give a shit. But if it comes back and it's broken, or if I can't find it when I need it because you didn't put it back where you got it, then I'll fucking kill you.
Oh yeah,
and I'll beat you with the belt.
We've had stuff like that before, where like we needed it and somebody had it and they didn't bring it back, and I'm telling you, I've seen some of these guys catch a lot of shit for not bringing stuff back.
Dude. Oh yeah, big time. Oh yeah, I mean, but hold on. The reason I asked Liam, the question is like, so you have your tools for your house that you've acquired over the years and things like that. But like, I know Bach has to bring a lot of his tools to a job site, right?
Yeah.
So he has like a set of tools.
Is
so
Bach
you have
a
set of
private,
tools.
like a private contractor?
He's a union contract. He's a union electrician, but like he still has to bring his own tools to a job site.
That shit stays in his truck. You know what I mean? It's like he has like stays in his truck,
but that's like his that's like his thing. But like Liam, you don't have to bring. That's not like it is at your work. They have all those tools on site that you need, right?
Yes, for the most part. And anything I don't have on my sites, there is like my company has a shop in the main building too. So I can go over there if I need something. And usually that's if you need something very specific, they have that at the main building. Yeah.
You can track it down if you need it.
So they kind of have like a Lowe's on campus.
Absolutely. Yeah, they do. They have like anything that could ever come up is in one of those cabinets at the main shop. Like it's there if you need it.
Do you have to like check it out with an inventory person?
You do. Yeah.
Okay.
If you grab like certain power tools and everything.
Good,
like our regular, like our drills and our screwdrivers and everybody kind of has their own set of like regular tools. But if you're going there to grab like a bigger hammer drill or like saws and stuff, like, you write your name on this board and what you took and the date.
Yeah.
And then that's how it goes. Yep.
Makes sense. That's how it should be. That's how it should be with every tool set because they're tools. They're not fucking toys.
Yep.
Can I ask you a question, Liam? if you were, and this is still, I'm going to come from the novice perspective. Like, let's say I get my own place in a year from right now, right? And now I have my own place and I'm responsible for stuff. Pound for pound, just in general, what's like the most valuable tool you have for home stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think is like, it's nothing sexy, it's not a bandsaw, it's not a sawzall, it's nothing cool.
Yeah.
It's something you were like, if you were to invest in one or two good, like really decent tools.
Yeah.
You should get yourself like a hammer drill, like a handheld drill driver. So it's got a driver and you can switch it to like hammer drill, meaning you can drill like through wood and everything with it, but it also, when you change it to hammer, you can drill through concrete to like anchor stuff to, the blocks that are in your basement or the side of your house if it has brick or anything like that. You should definitely have one of those. And I would say a sawzall. I think you need a sawzall too.
All right.
Sawzall.
Yeah. I mean, depends on what kind of work you're doing. Yeah, maybe a circular saw would be, but the hammer drill to me is a must. It's a must, and I think you should have an electrical meter too, so that I do think. Okay, so those are the two things I think every homeowner should have: is a driver hammer drill combo and a meter, so when you're working on stuff that it's not hot, especially if you're drilling through the wall, or you're taking a light switch apart, or something has to be moved and there's electrical stuff down there, or you're taking a wall down, or you have to do stuff in the base. You should have an electrical. Yeah, you're doing your water heater, you would need it for that. You would need it for, you're putting in a disposal. So you need it for more than you think you would, I think.
Okay.
Nice. All right, good answer.
Hammer drill and an electrical meter.
You heard it here first. All right, so let's keep moving.
You do need like a regular set of like hand tools, though.
I mean, you need screwdrivers and wrenches and stuff like that. But I'm just saying,
screwdrivers, your socket wrenches, your hammer.
As far as powered tools go that are like kind of underrated, that come up way more than you think they would.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, I want to talk about this. This is something, and I want to see where we're all at with this. So, for me, like, it's the DIY pride versus like calling a professional, right? So like, I got the ego of the married dad, right? Like, especially if my wife says call a professional, I'm gonna take a stab at it first, because if I do get it without making it worse, or if I can YouTube video it, right? Then your boy's laying nuts on chin. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the times, pretty much I would say 98% of the time, that is the wrong move. Don't let ego get in the way. If it's a big job, like if your fucking, bathtub's leaking or your toilet's not on right or whatever, fucking don't risk it. Call the biscuit, baby. You know what I'm saying? Call the big guys in. Bern, what is the time crunch reality here for you? Like, you want to be the handyman for the kids, but realizing, the time just doesn't fit in. You got a sink covered in grease. Like, what is your thing here? Where do you go? Ego? Like, are you DIY priding it, or are you calling the pro? Talk to me.
No, I probably have too little ego. You know what I mean? Like, I probably don't take a shot at a couple things I could have.
Your toolkit's holding you back. Your toolkit's
holding me back. It's holding me back. Well, it's not the toolkit. Like, I think if at some point I own a property, that'll be my time to play. Like, then I'll be okay, you know what?
You're going to be Harbor Freight Bernie.
This is mine, and now I can learn how to do this. And you know what? If it's not perfect, it's not perfect, but it's still mine. But yeah, just
you're gonna get a French door of your own one day, Bern.
You know what, Maddie? And I will only call you for help if I absolutely need it. But I will try. I will make the old call try. But I think in a couple of years, I'm hoping to have a place of my own, and that's when I'm going to play. I like I like the idea of having a little table out in the garage and doing some stuff and making some stuff work. But I've just never owned
a couple. What are the things? Sawhorses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I caught my finger in one. Thought I was gonna lose it. That's a motherfucker. And I'll
You'd
tell
be
you about that.
surprised what you can do, though, Bern. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You have two littles. I'll tell you, like, you could do probably more with your car than you think.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
You
I'm
probably
sure.
could do a spark plug as long as you have the right attachment and everything. You probably
Yeah.
could do an ignition coil. I'm telling you, there's stuff that seems crazy, but
Yeah.
that you could do if you put your mind to it.
And I'm great at following directions. You know,
Sure.
I'm really good
Yeah.
at following directions.
Let them know. But okay, so then I'm on like if my ego's challenged, I might make the mistake and pay for it later, sure. But hey, you might get a nice French door out of it. Who knows? Did I think I could do a French door? Did anyone think I could do a French door? No, but I did a French door, Daddy. And I'm
Nice.
old Uncle Matty French doors over here. But Schmigs, you have to be on the adverse of that, where like it's gotta be fucking pretty bad.
Nah, you got to know your limits, and I'm pretty sure I like know what mine are at this point. There are certain things that like that I'm not going to do. Like if there's issues with, say, like roofing, like I mean like serious roofing. Now if I just need to nail a shingle back on or something, that's whatever. But
if I need to climb up on a roof and throw some fucking shingles on, sure, I'll climb up 50 feet in the air and throw some shingles. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
But like if it's like a serious, you know what I mean? Like there's a buckle up there or something like that, or you have like a real
structural issues.
You're going on a roof. That's serious. What is serious here? I'm not going up on a fucking roof. I got an HOA. What are you kidding me?
That's what the butler's for, Liam.
That's
what the butler's for.
I'll tell you this: I'm no flooring guy. You know what I mean? Like you got to make sure that stuff. You got to make sure that shit is straight and like and that your measurements are right and everything. If I tried to say lay some tiles down or do some of the flooring stuff they do in like bathrooms and kitchens and carpeting and stuff, I could see fucking that up. I could see getting in trouble with that like fast. And then and it's one of those things I think once you're in and you're in too deep, now you're gonna end up like doing worse than you did before.
And you're gonna have to deal with the guy who, when you finally call the guy to come in and fix it, comes in and goes like, "Man, who did this shit? Look at that!
Who's the asshole that fucked this up? God, who'd you hard do?
You know what? You know what? Cars are definitely something, because there is a very fine line between what you can get done easily, and once you end up on the other side of that line and like what you really need to call a mechanic for, you can pretty easily get yourself into trouble doing stuff. So you got to know for sure that this is a quick like 3-4 steps. Once they get into, if you go to look at the instructions and you're watching the video and they're pulling like the hose off the radiator, or they're moving this, or they're dropping that, dude, you better back up. You better back off of that, I say.
Do I want to destroy the most
trouble?
Glendale
Automotive.
Like, do I want to destroy the most expensive thing I own that I don't actually own?
Right.
Like I still owe $9,000 on this. Do I want to destroy it? I don't want to do that.
No, you don't. All right, we are coming to the top of time, boys. So what do we got before we rowdy out of here? Banditi Padalini, what do you got for all the dads doing projects out there before we rowdy 5, buckaroo?
Listen, I think there's a lot of dads out there who are on my boat who like didn't come up with much technical acumen and that stuff, and I'm like nervous to try it because I don't. My feeling is always like I don't want to bang it up. I don't and cost myself more money in the future. But fortune favors the bold, right? And I think Liam's right. There are simple things you can do. Like I can change my oil, I can change a tire, I can do that. But maybe I could change a filter. Maybe I could change a belt. Like maybe just take a look at it before. And go like, do I understand the concept of what's happening here?
Yeah, do your homework. Absolutely.
Do I feel over my head just reading how this procedure goes? If that's the case, probably not worth it.
True. Schmigs, what about you, Papi Chulo?
Yeah, I definitely have some advice for everybody out there, okay? We're talking about all this stuff and doing it and whatnot. Okay, you're going to dig into something. A pair of safety glasses is like $5. Okay. Cover your goddamn eyes if you're going to be drilling, and
that's incredible.
And you know what I mean? If
come
you're
on.
going to be in a when you flash something electrical, that is metal superheating, and it can go out into the air. And if that gets in your eye or you're drilling, you can get wood chips in your eyes. Up, like, dude, pair of safety glasses is not expensive, but surgery on your eyes is very expensive.
Wow, that is a fucking pro take right there, Daddy.
And going blind at 40 with kids is going to be a real pain in the dick. Yeah.
Big time, Daddy. Big time. Love it. Well, speaking of real pains in the dick, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast presents For Dads by Dads. I'm Matt Lavelle. He's Bern Podcasy, and that handsome bastard is Liam Reese. In case you're wondering, you find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. And also on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. Join us on Twitter and TikTok at WorkingPod. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. And please like and subscribe. And we'll keep bringing you this sweet, sweet content. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks. See ya.